Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the AQE Foundations Q&A. Whew. I had a little moment with the people who were able to come in early, and I want to welcome everyone who's here live and everyone who is catching the replay. I know several of you reached out and said, hey, I can't be there in the middle of the day. Can I catch the replay? So we do have folks coming in from around the world, tuning into this space, and everything is energy. So whether you're here live or you're catching the replay, it is as if we were here together, because we are here together in this now moment, regardless of when you watch this recording. So welcome everyone to the AQE Foundations. My name is Kirsten Hope, and I'm a Cosmic Quantum Energy Facilitator, Master Teacher, and Grand Master Dea. So what that means is I facilitate sessions, I teach and attune facilitators, and that's what the AQE Foundations course is all about. And I can also train teachers. So today, though, we're going to stick with AQE Foundations. And if you're here, it's because there's something pulling you, some space of curiosity, whether you're just curious about a Cosma and what that is, whether you're curious about the course space, whether you just want to come in because you don't know why. Now, I come from a place of never knowing why. I come from a place of following my curiosity, and it has never failed me. I remember, oh my gosh, this was about 25 years ago. I was with my mom, and I said, I think I want to become a hypnotherapist. And she's like, and it was like completely out of the blue for her. She's like, what? Why? And she wanted me to give her all these reasons why, all these pros and cons, all of these things. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel it in my gut. And so I did. And that actually started me on this whole trajectory to where I am today in this now moment. So I encourage you to tune in to your heart. So as we begin, just go ahead and take a beat. Close your eyes. Oh, I just saw that being go by. Connect with the space. Welcome to the AQE Foundations Q&A. I'm so happy that you're here. I see that you're all on mute. Thank you very much for that. I am recording this video. However, the recording will only have my face and my voice in it unless somebody wants to come on screen. If you want to ask your question live with your mouth on screen, just let me know in the chat and I'll bring you on. Otherwise, you're welcome to use the chat if you don't want to do that. But this is a Q&A, so I do want to hear your questions. And with that said, I'm going to start the space with just some common questions that I've been asked. The most basic one is, what is Cosma? Like, what is it? And it's so interesting because the answer to that is definitive and quantum all in the same time. A Cosma is a specific frequency of energy. It is very specific unto itself. It's different than anything else I have ever worked with, and yet it dovetails with everything I have worked with. So if you're already an energy healer, maybe you're not a professional energy healer, but you kind of work with energy, you're like, well, I kind of do it, but I don't really know what to call it. A Cosma is that space and also another space of you. It is an ancient future healing modality here to assist humanity in stepping into its ascension and higher consciousness. So what is that? I'm trying to hold really still. I'm trying to hold really still because of the camera. So what is ancient and future? What does that really mean? I really sat with that question this morning because I've said it. I've said that statement. I have felt that statement in my beingness when I've been facilitating sessions like you might in the future. And I was like, but what I've said the words, but what does it really mean? What it really means is we are ancient beings. We are ancient beings from this galaxy, from other galaxies, from additional galaxies. from the cosmos, from the quantum. If you are here, if you are drawn to my work, right, you are an ancient being. There's no question. As I say that, I'm just completely covered in goosebumps. You might be feeling that as well. And if not, that's okay too. So there is a space of us that worked with this energy thousands and millions of years ago, or you wouldn't be here. That doesn't mean you need to join AQE Foundations. I'm just saying, this is not a hard sell. This is just a Q&A. But we've all walked this path together at some point. That is the ancient space of this healing. The future space of this healing is we do work in the quantum, we do work in the cosmos, we do work in future technologies. I've been taught future technologies. We teach future technologies in AQE Foundations, and you will probably have your own technologies come in. I have. It actually started to come in a little bit before AQE, and then when I took the Foundations class, it really anchored. So what I love about that is when you become a facilitator, if you choose to, and you don't have to again, but all facilitators facilitate AQE Foundations, not only in the same course space, but they also bring their own flavor to it. So no two AQE facilitators are the same, and no two AQE sessions are the same. They are unique to you and the dynamic between whoever you are facilitating a session for, whether that's for yourself, for a friend, for a family, or for somebody, like if you want to take this professionally. So that is what Akasma is. It's ancient and future. But the biggest thing I want to share with you about it is all about learning to trust yourself in ways that you probably don't even know you need to. And I say that from a space of experience. I came into this space with 20 years of professional healing under my belt, and it still rocked my world. I took the class with people who the energy is high. Kenea sa kokonayate. I encourage you to breathe, connect with your breath, and allow. You might consider dropping your belly. We're clearing a lot. When we come into a space together, whether it's a teaching space or a session space, clearing is happening. Woo! If you're not noticing anything at all, it's okay. But there are belief systems and structures already dropping from your being that allow you a more optimal space of view. So let me connect in with what I was sharing because I got completely off track. That there are no two spaces alike. And what I love about this, and I was talking about self-trust, is I thought I trusted myself really well. I mean, I was pretty confident. But I didn't realize I was only confident within the context of the structured healing I was taught. And while Akasma does offer you structure, it gives us an anchor. It teaches you how to facilitate sessions. That's what we do. It's what we do in AQE Foundations. It also gives you the space to be you. It gives you the space. It gives you that. We have light beams in the room. I wonder if the camera's going to pick them up. I hope so. But you have space to do this work in only the way that you can. So when I was taking AQE Foundations, there were quite a few people in the course. I took it from the originator of Akasma. Her name is A.L. Garris. And I'll talk about her in just a minute, but there were people there who had never done any energy healing before. And there were people like me who've been in it for 20 years. There were master Reiki masters, and all sorts of people who are very accomplished. And we all came into this space as newbies. We all came into this space of dropping our expertise and coming in from a space of vulnerability and play and innocence. And for me, that was a really big space of growth. I didn't realize how caught up I was in my ego. I didn't realize how caught up I was in being like, well, I've been an energy healer for 20 years and I know what I need. And I had to drop that lens. I had to drop what I knew. I had to drop the stories I tell myself that I thought kept me safe. And this is what AQE Foundations invites you to do. It invites you to come in and embrace your self-love at an even deeper level than we have ever thought possible. It teaches you to come into a space of self-trust and drop your fears. It teaches you how to facilitate sessions. So as we gather here together in this Q&A, the first thing I want to do is just thank you for being here. Because as you are here, you are anchoring a higher dimensional space for yourself, first and foremost, even if you don't sign up for AQE. This space in and of itself is sacred. And you are also anchoring this remembrance for humanity just by being here. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. I've got some questions. If you see my eyes go up there, it's only because I've got an agenda to keep me on track. So I just want to ask you, does anybody have any questions? Let me change my view so I can see you all better. Does anybody have any questions about what is a Cosma? Did that resonate? Does that make sense to you? Give me a yes or a no. I can see it. Yes. Okay, good, 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 good. You'll hear me sort of drop into sacred sound. Some people call it light language. You'll hear that come in. That is something that tends to activate with people. I know I've got at least one person here when I was doing light language, it activated their light language as well. It doesn't have to, if that's not something that you want. It is a part of a Cosma quantum energy, is that light language does tend to activate in many people. But if that is not something that aligns with you, if you're like, no, I don't want to sound like that weirdness or whatever, it doesn't have to. So again, you get to make this space yours. So I want to talk a little bit, because it sounds like you all have a really good understanding of what a Cosma is, because I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. And really do use the chat as much as you can to give feedback, to share an experience that you've had, and to post a question. That is, everyone is welcome, okay? I want to talk about what the course looks like specifically, okay? So it starts next Thursday, the 21st. We have class every Thursday at noon Pacific Standard Time. So that is 11 o'clock Mountain, 12 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard. And then if you're not in those time zones, please look it up online, because I'm not good at navigating that space. The classes will last about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and they will be very similar to this one here, where when you are a student and you are attending live, it will look like this. You'll see everybody in the class space, but it will only be recording me, okay? And then if you can't attend live, a replay will be posted in the student portal. I want to show you the student portal, but I want to finish describing the class space. So we have a live interaction space from every Thursday for about an hour. And it's a very structured space for the most part, where I follow an outline and I teach the theory and the course spaces of a cosmic quantum energy. So it's a teaching structure unlike anything I've ever known. It has course spaces, but there's also a lot of fluidity, which really allows us and allows space for us to grow and expand and follow the space of the people that are present, the people in the course, whether they are attending live or they're attending the replay. If you are a person who, this time will never work for you, you are welcome to email me and be in contact with me I have a Voxer account, which is a voice, I have email, I have texting. You can reach out to me any way you want and ask questions and interact with the space. I am here to support each of my students in whatever way they need. Okay, so that is always a space that is open. In addition to the class, so the class space will be active teaching. It'll be more lecture format with spaces and time for Q&As as well. When that is done, we take a 2-hour break, and then we come back and I facilitate an AQE session for the whole group. Okay. That's at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The way that I do the session, it's called a C2C. That stands for consciousness to consciousness. And I know for some, this is just sort of it can be hard to wrap your brain around if you've never done it, but it's also called remote healing. So there are a lot of ways to interact with the session space. You can lie down at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you listen to one of the music links in the student portal. There's 2. Well, there's 4 links because one is an MP3 and one is via YouTube because they're easy. People have different ways they like to listen. You lie down, you put your headphones in, and you just allow the space. You might fall asleep. You might notice things. You might have out-of-body experiences. You might notice nothing. During that time at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am facilitating an AQE session for you and with you, for everybody in the class space, whether they are laying down at 2 p.m. or not, okay? During that C2C, not only will you be receiving and being offered and facilitated healing of your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, but I will also be attuning you to the frequency of a cosmic quantum energy, okay? A cosmic quantum energy, and what I'm teaching is based on this book, AQE Foundations by A.L. Garris. You can get it on Amazon. You don't have to have the book to take the course. There are 3 PDFs in the course in the student portal, and they are actual excerpts out of this book. Everything that you have to know, need to know, is in the PDF. The book fills in some of the gaps. She goes into her history and all that kind of stuff, shares a lot of stories, a lot of testimonials, a lot of examples. But that is not necessary to understanding and learning a cosmic quantum energy. Everything you need is in the student portal and in the coursework and working with me, because I will be attuning you every single week. So I attune you to the energy keys of a Cosma, which will make more sense next Thursday when you have your first class, and then every week thereafter. It is 9 weeks. There is only 1 week we don't meet on Thursday, and that's because I'll be traveling. So I think it's week 7. The Thursday is November 2nd, but class will actually be held on Wednesday, November 1st, because on the 2nd I'll be traveling. And that's all in the student portal. So you attend the class if you can. If you can't attend the class, it is totally fine. Really, I cannot stress this enough. It is completely fine if you cannot attend live. Totally fine. Then you receive the session in whatever way works for you. If you see me checking my watch, I just want to make sure people aren't texting me like, hey, you froze or something like that. And that's really all you do on that Thursday. You interact with the class space in the way that you do, and you interact with the session space in the way that you do. Even if that means you lie down and you go to bed at night, you put the headphones on and you fall asleep and you set the intention. I'm tuning into and I'm connecting in with the group session from today. That is a perfectly valid way to interact with the session space. So I just want to check in. Any questions so far? How you nod your head if you're like right with me, or put yes in the chat if you're like, yep, I'm good. Yeah, okay. Yay, thank you. All right. Now, we also have attunings. I actually do 2 attunings. Okay, so there's the attuning space I do during the C2C. Okay, in addition to that, and that, let me back up. Let me finish with the C2C. So I do the C2C, and if you've had a session with me, you know how this works. If you haven't had a session with me, it's okay. After the session, after I facilitate the session, what I'm doing while I'm facilitating the session is exactly what I'm going to teach you how to do. I take notes during the session, everything that comes up during the session. And then I record. I just open my phone app, and you know how it has like a little voice memo app? I use a voice memo app. And I tell you, okay, this is what happened during the session. This is what came up. These are the places that this is what was addressed during the session. As a student, you're going to see that audio link in the student portal. You're going to click play and you're just going to listen to it. And it will probably be anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes at the most. Okay. So you have the class space. You have the C2C that you lie down and you just like space out and do whatever. The best way is to be still. So, I mean, the only way you can interact with the session space is while you're doing dishes because you have a really busy life. Cosmo will always meet you where you are. It's always going to meet you where you are. So just remember, you cannot do this wrong. You cannot mess it up. Like, that was really hard for me to understand. I'm a rule follower, right? I'm like, I want to be the A+ student. I want to do it just right to get the most I can. But a Cosmo meets you exactly where you are. So if you have a really busy week and you don't have time to sit down and receive the session in the way that you want to, just go with it, okay? You attend the class space, you lie down for the C2C space, you listen to the notes whenever you can. Then I offer an attuning video. And the videos are probably, I haven't done one yet because I haven't tuned into the space yet. I anticipate them being anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And you'll see a lot, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of hand movements yet because of the video issue I'm having today, but you'll see me doing a lot of light language, signing with my hands, signing with my voice, and with sacred music. And that is an additional deepening of your attunement to the Cosmo energy. So that you're gonna kind of be attuned twice every week. Okay. There's nothing you need to do. You cannot do it wrong. You tune in, you receive. That's it. Okay. And then the next week rolls around and you do the same thing. And the next week rolls around and you do the same thing. There will be reading. I will direct you to different, like, you know, hey, if you can read these 3 pages or these 5 pages or whatever, I will share that. We're dropping, all of us are releasing belief systems about being a good student. We are releasing belief structures around time. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't appear to be going in and out of focus. Thank you. I will drop that storyline. Appreciate it. Now, about the class space and about the C2Cs and about the attuning sessions, you can interact with those spaces whenever it's convenient for you. Now, it says, I'm going to say, do it within 24 hours, but everything is energy. Energy, oh my, I'm covered in goosebumps. Energy doesn't stop at 24 hours. The only reason I put those parameters in there is because some people need those parameters. Some people have such a busy life, if they don't have a deadline, they don't get around to it. But I trust that you know yourself well enough. I trust that you will listen to yourself. You trust that you will interact in the space that nourishes you in the most delightful and impactful way. So if we have class on Thursday and you can't tune in until Sunday or Monday or Wednesday, follow that. Remember, you can't mess it up. This is the most expansive, supportive space of teaching and receiving as a student I have ever felt in my entire life. I've been asked to speak at 2 graduations, the only 2 graduations I've been a part of. And that was one of the things that I talked about. I said, you know, when you take AQE Foundations, they're like, trust yourself, trust yourself. You can't do this wrong. But in the back of my mind, that perfect student, in the back of my mind, the person who was like, I'm a very structured, bullet pointed person. I love a good to-do list. I kept thinking, but there's gonna come a space where they're like, you can't do it that way. And it has never come. Really, it has never come. Like, you seriously can do this. in the way that aligns with you. So that's the structure of the actual physicality of the class. The class is 9 weeks. At the end of the 9 weeks, you are invited to complete an evaluation that when you pass, and it is the easiest thing ever, I give you all the answers. Okay, you get the questions and you get the answers, so you can't do it wrong. But if you want to be a certified cosmic quantum energy facilitator, and you want to like call yourself that, you have to pass the evaluation. But again, it's very simple. We are here. My whole focus is for your success. My whole focus is to support you in bringing the energy of a Cosma and you and all the spaces that you are out into the world in only the way that you can, even if that only means that you're facilitating self sessions. If the only thing you ever do from taking this, you're only taking this for self-expansion, and you only want to facilitate sessions for yourself, I love you for it. I love you for it. If you want to bring this into, you want to start a healing practice, you want to incorporate it into the healing practice that you already have, you want to bring it into your professional space, that is a space too. So wherever you are, all are welcome. Everybody is having a great impact. So then there are 9 weeks, and the 9 weeks are separated into 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3. AQE Foundations used to be taught over like, I want to say 12 weeks or 15 weeks. Yeah, 15 weeks. And AQE 1 was 5 weeks, AQE 2 was 5 weeks, and so on. And it's now been condensed down because as a human race, we are vibrating in a faster and faster frequency, and we're able to assimilate the frequencies easier. We don't need as long as we used to. And so it's now 3 sections. And there is a PDF that goes with each section. And the PDF is in your student portal. Let me look at my notes to make sure I covered. So the first section, AQE 1, is understanding the foundations of a Cosma, understanding and learning the foundations of facilitating a session. And then in week 3, you're going to facilitate your session for yourself. We're going to do a self session together. Okay. AQE 2, which is weeks 4, 5, and 6, is all about dropping fear, releasing the densities of fear. And this is also where you learn how to facilitate sessions for your friends and family. And in week 6, you will be facilitating a session for a friend or a family member if you choose. If you don't want to do that, you can do a self session. Okay, so again, it meets you exactly where you are. And then AQE 3 is all about expanding. And this is where you learn how to facilitate sessions. Allow the space. Drop your belly. Relax your diaphragm. Open your throat. You do not have to facilitate sessions for strangers. You can. But just because you complete AQE 3 does not mean you have to become a cosmic quantum facilitator. This course is for self-expansion first. I think it might be week 8. Right? I need to review my notes. I think it's week 8. You'll be facilitating a session for another person. And if you don't have someone, but you kind of just want to play with the space, I have friends who are facilitators who have volunteered to be your quote unquote guinea pig. Okay. So if you don't have a stranger or another friend or another family member that you're comfortable saying, hey, can I practice on you? I I have the connections to support you in that. Or you can do another self session. That's also a valid space. So I'm going to pause there. I want you just to connect with your heart. I invite you to connect in with your heart. You might even consider closing your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Closing your physical eyes and opening your third eye. Beautiful. And I'd love to open this space up for questions, for comments. So I'm going to be still for just a minute. You can raise your hand to come on screen. You can, you can just do it this way. Or you can type it in the chat. I do have some questions that I will be answering if nobody has any. I'm also going to allow space to bring in some cosmic quantum energy healing too. Y'all are a quiet bunch. Love it. All right. So let me just review these questions. I'm going to read them off. And if you hear one, okay, great question. How much total time will I need to spend? That is a great question. So first of all, that's completely up to you. But at the bare minimum, if you really want to get as much as you can out of this space, it would be probably 3 hours at the most a week. 1 hour for the class space, and not all class spaces are going to be an hour. 1 hour when you lie down and receive the C2C space, the remote session space, and maybe an hour combined, not even that, maybe a half hour, listening to the session notes, watching the attuning video, and doing a little bit of the reading. The reading is very quick and easy. Even though the first PDF is 79 pages, some pages are just pictures. Some pages only have like one sentence on them. So it's a very easy read. That was a really good question. Thank you for asking it. So this is a great question. I'm not using names just because I haven't asked you if I can. So if you're wondering why I'm not calling you out specifically for a name, but so this question is, are the attunements a gentle energy? Will we be healing ourselves during the attunements? Will we have any emotional, physical release? Love it. Love it. I'm going to change my sound quality here. Hold on a second. You might notice a little difference in my sound quality because when I do the light language, Zoom tends to cut me off. And this question is such a powerful question. I know that light language is going to come in and I don't want to be cut off. So I'm going to repeat the question. Are the attunements a gentle energy? Will we be healing ourselves during the attunements? Will we have any emotional, physical release? Give me a second. I just want to try not to speak out of my head. I have found the attunements to be incredibly gentle. And gentle is subjective. So I can't speak for every single person. I have had attunements where when I'm laying there listening to the music, my body might jerk, but I've never felt sick to my stomach. I have never felt vomity. I have not felt spacey. And a cosma always comes from what's right. One of the questions that I've been asked a lot is, I used to be a body talk practitioner, and I still am, actually. I don't practice it, but and they're like, what's the difference? What's the difference between Reiki? What's the difference between Reiki and Akasma, Body Talk and Akasma, the Quick Pulse and Akasma, and all this kind of stuff? And what I love about Akasma is it always comes from what's right. As facilitators, we are always looking at ourselves, our friends and family, and or our clients from a place of what is right, a place from their wholeness, a place of non-brokenness. And when we do that, it expands more of what is right. And as we expand more of what is right, those frequencies that don't align with that begin to transmute, fall away, and release. What that looks like for you, I don't know. I don't know. I cannot promise you it will be gentle because I'm not you. And I think you can respect that answer, yes? My experience and the experience of the people that I have been in contact with through the Akasma family of light is that it is a gentle space because it always comes from love. It always comes from love. Love is the core space of Akasma, not love, human love. Love from a space of unconditional love and support and acceptance and nourishment. And I have not found that space to be jarring in any way, shape, or form. Now, you saw me earlier where I got a little bit, and I was a little bit like, oh, the energy is really high. You might experience that, but it is a passing experience. And it just allows me to read the energy so that I know what we are processing. This whole Q&A has been a massive upgrade for everybody watching live or on the replay, a massive upgrade. Again, regardless of whether you sign up for the course or not, this is a space of energy expansion. So I'm going to go back to that question. She said that. So the question was. So she said, when you went to answer my question, I lost you on the screen. Okay. So what's so beautiful about that? No mistakes. I think you already know the answer and you didn't need me to answer it. And I encourage you to go back and watch the replay. The short answer is gentle, and if there's going to be an emotional physical release, is all a subjective experience. I have not experienced that, and I have experienced spaces of expansion that challenged me to interact with my space from a different belief system. So I had a lot of belief systems of needing to fix, and I'm just speaking from my own experience. I'm not projecting this into the question. I've had belief systems of feeling responsible for my clients' healing, and these are spaces I didn't know I had. I've had spaces where I was really hanging tightly onto a taught structure, and I got a little twitchy and itchy when they were like, just do it however. And I'm like, I want you to tell me what to do, right? So those were places where I had to step into my self-trust and expansion. And those weren't comfortable spaces for me. And I chose to greet them from a space of love. So I have had people have physical releases, but not like throwing up and diarrhea. I mean, I don't know when you say physical release, I don't know what you mean. But I do speak to the reality of living in a human structure. And having been in the healing world for a long time, I have seen some of those spaces come up for people in previous spaces of healing modalities that I have practiced, where they have had a really strong physical release. I have found Akasma to be a more gentle space, but it is also a very personal space. And if your body needs to release, it will. We don't judge that as wrong or bad. And you can slow yourself down. You can interact with the space. You can stretch the space if you need to. If you feel like it's too much, too fast for you, the portal never closes. So if all of a sudden you're like, say in week 3, and you're like, geez, this is too much for me, I don't anticipate that happening, but I can't speak for your personal experience. And you can slow it down. You can take this class, and you can complete the class in 9 weeks, or you can complete the class in 9 years. It's here for you to interact with it as diligently and as fast or as slow as you want to. Everybody has a different cadence, and we allow for that. That was such a great question. I want to go back because there was another part of it I think I might have missed. Mm. Will we be healing ourselves during the attunements? No, I will. I mean, yes and no. Okay, so you're always facilitating your own healing. I am holding the space for that to happen, and this will make more sense as we go into the course space. You're always healing yourself, right? Even if you go to an energy healer, they might be able to bring in a conduit of frequency, which is what we do in a cosma, but it is always your space that chooses to receive that space of healing or not. So in a sense, we're always healing ourselves. You brought yourself, and my hands are on fire right now, that's why I'm holding it up, because we're moving some energy here. But when it comes down to it, no matter if you're going to a doctor, like a Western medicine doctor, a surgeon, a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, an herbalist, an energy healer, a counselor, a therapist, you're always healing yourself. But are you going to be doing the attunements yourself? No, I will be doing those on your behalf. That's what a teacher does to help you become a facilitator. And with that said, throughout the course space, there are 3 times we'll be doing actual AQE sessions. The first one you will be facilitating on you, for you. The second one for friends or family. The third one for a friend or a client or something like that. And you can interact with those spaces any way you want. You can do them all on yourself even. Okay. And I already addressed the part where we have any emotional or physical release. Maybe? Maybe. So you answered your own question. You said, maybe I'm supposed to trust this is in relationship to you losing your connection during the Zoom call. Yes, yes, yes. And then this participant wrote in who's had AQE sessions, that she said, yes, gentle with spaces of expansion. So that's been your experience. Yes, with gentle. Okay, awesome. Any other questions that I can address for you? It doesn't look like it, but feel free to go in. One of the questions I get a lot is a Cosma safe? Can I do a Cosma for a brand new baby? Can I do it for a pregnant woman? Can I do it for my autistic nephew or niece? Can I do it for this person who has cancer? I'm going through cancer. I'm going through this treatment. I'm having surgery. I'm taking medications, and all these spaces. And the underlying question is a Cosma safe? Will it like mess something up? A Cosma always comes from a place of expansion and love. And we are never, ever forcing healing onto someone. We offer it, we float it in front of them. And then it is up to their higher self, whether they know you're doing the session or not, it is up to their higher self, whether they choose to receive that opportunity of healing themselves. Okay, it's not a conscious thing. So, I mean, I've been in public spaces, and if you've read any of my emails, you know this. Like, I shared in one of the emails that came out, and this was when I was like, I had only taken one AQE class, and I'd never even had a session. I didn't know anything about AQE. And we work with something called an Cosma pyramid. And I was in the DMV, and the space was really getting really heavy and really, really angsty and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to drop an Cosma pyramid in, right? I didn't go around and ask permission to all those people. Can I do a Cosma on you? Can I do a Cosma on you? A Cosma, built into a Cosma, is respect and sovereignty and free will. So we never, ever force a session on anybody. We might offer it. If I have a friend who is struggling and they're, telling me their angst, now with a friend, I would probably say, do you want me to do a session? And they might say, yes, please. But if I have, like, say, a family space, my family doesn't believe in anything that I do. And if one of my kids calls me and they're struggling, I'm going to send them a Cosmic Quantum Energy, 100%. And they have free will in their felt sense, in their higher self, whether they choose to receive that healing or not. We always have free will. So So going back to, is a cosmos safe? Absolutely, because it's always coming from love. Always coming from love. Not human love. I cannot stress that enough. And if it is not in their highest and greatest good, their higher self will not receive it in. But that goes with any healing modality. When I was doing body talk, when I was doing the quick pulse, when I was doing Reiki, when I was doing any of these spaces, I could never supersede the free will and sovereignty in another. And so it is always safe. And we always offer it with love. We float the energy in front of somebody, and then they choose to receive it or not. Does that resonate? Yes? Yes? Question? Yeah, okay. Perfect. All right. So what I would like to do, if you have a burning question, throw it into the chat, but I would love to do a little AQE for you and with you. Is that good? Everybody agree? Awesome. Okay. So you can just sit back and relax. You can have your eyes opened or closed. You see my hands here? You will learn how to do this. There is energy clearing out through the right side of the back of the throat. There's a DNA activation through the right masseter muscles. Masseter muscles are here. It's your jaw. And when you clench your teeth and your jaw goes out and out, that's your masseter muscle. When you're an AQE facilitator, you do not have to have light language. This is just the way I do it. So don't let that to freak you out. There is this massive invitation from your heart to trust yourself in whatever way. It might have nothing to do with what we're talking about here today, but there are one or some of you that are navigating a space of doubt, self-doubt, wondering, searching for just the right answer, just the right message, so that you will feel the confidence to make the decision you need to make. You already know the answer to that. Again, I'm not convinced it has anything to do with AQE Foundations. There are some linear spaces of the masculine that are recalibrating, coming into greater alignment with the reciprocal energy of the divine feminine. Ooh, lots of clearing through the right hamstring. Beautiful, beautiful. Just allow. You are anchoring this space divinely. Near pathways are opening. Each of you here on the live and on the replay have at least three members of your team of light on your right side. Beautiful. Just breathe and allow. Third eye is opening and expanding. Opening your sacred sense. Feeling your breath. It's beautiful. What I'm seeing above each of your heads is this sort of half moon above your head like this. Let me pull back so you can see it like this. And it is this gathering of energy is in this half moon shape. Teneo so kukoneyate. Beautiful. Just allow. Crown is expanding and opening. Tenea se keneo soko. Back of the neck, recalibrating consciousness of connecting the head and the heart. And bringing in that enteric gut brain. As we move forward, we always want to, as best as we can, given the context in which we live, to move forward with the alignment of our head, our heart, and our gut brain in complete coherence. You are a divine light, first and foremost. You are a spirit inhabiting a human vessel, and you came here to have this physical experience, and within the context of your physical experience, to remember who you are. Beautiful, beautiful. There's a space of your agency, your sovereignty, that is coming in and anchoring more deeply. And it's really activating and anchoring in your second chakra, your second sacral center. This is your creativity, your divine feminine, relationship, sexuality. All of these spaces are brought healing today. Beautiful. Oh, good. Breathe into the space. Breathe and allow. There is this beautiful, beautiful turquoise light shining up out of your heart space, through your throat space, all the way through and up and out the third eye. It's like this big. It reminds me, if you've seen a turquoise Andara crystal. The Andara crystal energy is coming in and raising the frequency of the space of all. And we thank our teams of light, and we thank the Cosma team of light for facilitating this space of remembrance and self-trust. And we seal this space in alignment with the highest degree of love and respect for each and every one of you in the path that you are walking. It is beautiful. You are beautiful. Trust yourself. Trust your knowing, wherever it leads you. I love each and every one of you so much. Thank you so much for those who are able to attend live, for those who are here tuning into the replay. I see you. I feel you. If you have any feedback at all, any questions that, I don't know about you, but sometimes my questions come as soon as I hit leave meeting. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to ask that question. Feel free to send me an email, and I will try to include it when I send out the replay. I love you all so much. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for anchoring this space. Thank you for allowing me the space to anchor this more deeply in with the space of you. I love you. Kenia seta okoteni okonea okonea okonea.